It's honestly such a great like podcaster setup. See the Barstool like right there on the left.
Yeah.
It's like kind of awesome. But yeah, she was really, really cool, and she was really, really excited to see your interview. So basically, I wanted to start just say like your name, what you do, and where you work, and then maybe just a little bit about like what is Barstool for those that don't know what it is.
All right, we're all set.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm TJ Hitchings. I graduated from Rutgers in May 2019, and I am a video producer at Barstool Sports. Currently working on some of our esports stuff, some of our gambling stuff, and then our Yankees podcast, as well as like helping out here and there. Everybody kind of helps out each other work on stuff. Um, Obviously working from home right now, but I've been full time there since January after spending like 7 months as an intern, which was fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely an interesting spot. It's not like your traditional job. Like I'm wearing a hoodie and a hat right now. This is what I would be wearing in the office.
Like your setup is perfect. It's like a man cave.
I have no windows down here, so I lose track of time sometimes. Like, but I'll be down here for like 15 hours a day, just focusing on stuff,
No, that's
locked in.
great. So wait, what does, so I know what a video producer does, but for someone that maybe is starting college that now finds this a little bit interesting, like what is a video producer?
Yeah. So what I do, I'll take like our esports brand as like one specific example. Is I help like with us come up with content ideas and then like executing upon them. So like this week we have a tournament with some UFC fighters that we're running on Call of Duty. So getting like promotional videos and graphics out on that. And then once we go live on all of our platforms, monitoring those live streams and figuring out the best things to push towards social media. And then once we're done with the live aspect of it, figuring out how to reuse that footage as like YouTube videos or clips or that sort of thing. So from start to finish, it's just about like how to create like the most captivating environment for a viewer that like to click on something basically.
Mhm.
Um, and we work with a bunch of people. Like I have senior producers that work on the project, and then I also sort of help figure out where to assign people when we have like a larger project so that we're all focused on something.
It's so dope because also when you were running the Rutgers Barstool, you were also creating a ton of content. Can you kind of tell people how you first got that position? Like, did you start the account? Did someone start it right before you? How did that kind of work? And what was it like running a major Instagram account at a university like Rutgers?
Right. Yeah. So from 2017 in like April to graduation in 2019, I was running Barstool Rutgers on Twitter and Instagram. Which for those that don't know a lot about Barstool is they built a network of these college accounts that they call Viceroy accounts, where I think it's like 400 campuses now have some sort of representation, whether it's like Barstool, Alabama, Barstool, Penn State, that sort of thing.
Mm.
And our account was started by this kid Tex, who went on to work at Barstool full time. He's not there anymore, but in 2017 he was interning at headquarters and in New York, and I saw a tweet that he was reading the intern applications for that summer. So his like after he was supposed to be graduating and going on full time. So I saw him and I knew that he was at Rutgers, and I shot him like an email with like a catchy headline
Mhm.
that I knew that would like jump off the page and he would pick up and read. And I basically like called him out, and he read it and got back to me, and I sold some shirts on campus, and then he passed the accounts to me. They had like 4,000 followers total at the time, and then they had close to 30 when I graduated. Um, but yeah, that was basically every day, either creating some sort of content, whether it's graphics or some sort of on-campus event, or most of our product basically was user submitted. So crazy stuff happening at parties or on campus, or just weird stuff at dining halls, and trying to like figure out what would work best on our social platforms and interacting with fans and that sort of thing. And for me, obviously, it helped me get where I am today.
Mhm.
And whenever I talk to like kids that are in college now, because I'll get DMs and stuff about like, hey, how do I work at Barstool?
Mhm.
I always suggest like, if you're at a college right now, or if you're in high school, to find out like which college you're going to, who the viceroy is, whether it's by DMing the account, and like tell them what you can do for them and get involved with that program, because that's like your easiest step into getting to Barstool if that's what you want to do post college.
What you did was like so amazing with the account. Like everyone loved it and you literally blew up the entire account. It's reached its success even after you because of what you did while you were there. It makes so much sense why then like Barstool wanted to hire you, was because of all the good work that you did with the Instagram account. So
Yeah.
when you left from doing the Instagram account, you kind of gave it over to the next person. How did you ask for an internship? Did they see what you were doing and they said, hey, you should apply? Did you kind of reach out to them? Oh, like, are there any internships available? Like, kind of how that process went about.
Yeah. So when I say like it's your easiest step into getting into Barstool, they prioritize interviewing the college representatives first, like before they go look outside if they're interested, which most of us are doing the college accounts like to try and get a job afterwards. And being that New Jersey is right next to New York, I was able to come in for an interview whenever they wanted. So I interviewed after my junior year for a social position and didn't get it because they were looking to hire kids that had graduated already. That way, if they were good, they could just take them on full time after the summer or after their internship was up. So I didn't get it after my junior year. Thought about what I was doing for a while, decided to like come back and run the accounts again my senior year. And then in like January, they asked me to come in for another interview, which happened in March. Then I got through to like a second round, which happens at the end of March, where they brought up the idea of like working as a video producer or a video intern, which they don't really do that often. But they saw that I had some video experience at Rutgers as well. And then the day after I graduated, they emailed me and offered me an internship.
That's
So
so awesome.
I didn't know what I was doing when I walked to graduation. And then literally the next morning, I like woke up hungover to an email that was like, hey, can you start like next Monday? And I was like, yeah, like, of course.
No, that was so. And then you got like a summer in the city, and then I saw you on the train ride home, which was
Yeah.
dope. Kind of like talking to you, like, oh, like how's this internship going? And then what was even better was then soon after that they hired you on full time. How did you kind of make that switch from intern to actually full time position at Barstool?
From what I've seen, it's the video internship position I was in. I wasn't directly like assigned to any brands. So it was a lot of like making your own worth. When I got in, it was like, talk to people, figure out where help is needed. Like we'll assign you like busy work if that's what it takes. But if you can attach yourself to stuff, like that's what we want to see you getting more and more active.
Yeah.
So towards like the end of the summer, I like hopped on to our college football podcast and did their video stuff. I was like fully working with our Yankees podcast, doing their stuff. And that gave me like enough leverage for them to extend me, because the internship was originally just for the summer. So they extended me in August through football season. So I knew I was there until at least the Super Bowl in February. And I did a bunch of stuff with our gambling department, like running our live streams for that. And I started helping out with our esports department and a couple other people, just basically like staying at the office as long as I could and doing as much as I could to like prove that I wanted to work there and that I was like deserving of the position.
Yeah.
And then in January, actually on my birthday, they didn't know that, but they brought me in and they offered me a full-time job because they like realized how much extra effort I put in, and that's when some of their spots opened up. So it just worked out that way. But yeah, they offered me and just said, we love what you're doing. We think that it's deserving of more than just an intern's pay. So they offered me a contract, and obviously I accepted. I was too deep at that point to back out.
No, being a self-starter is, I tell so many people at their internships, like, don't just do what they give you. Sometimes you just got to say, like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, what can I help with? Even if nobody asks you. Maybe in the moment you think no one's paying attention, but if you constantly are asking, like, what can I help with? What can I do? And actually doing the work, you'll be rewarded for it. Exactly what you did. Always like saying, I can do this, I can do that. I'll stay the extra hours. I think that day that you came back from the city was later in the day too. Like you had stayed like all night. I remember every single chance that you could get, you were working and like killing it. And they definitely noticed that. So it makes 100% sense why they were like, you should definitely be hired here. I think every place, like not just Barstool, is looking for people that like love the job so much that they don't even need to be asked to do something and want to do it. You also have a great personality. Everything that you like enjoy is literally Barstool. So it makes perfect sense while you're there. Since working there, what has been your favorite thing that you've worked on so far and your favorite part of the job?
I think Barstool is a place unlike any other place in media where you don't see like video producers at like an ESPN or a Bleacher Report like ever having the camera being turned on them. And at Barstool, it's almost like a reality show where we're doing something at all times of the day when the office is fully activated, whether it's like a live stream or somebody on like radio or somebody's filming some show somewhere, or we just have like guys that follow people around in the office with cameras because there's always somebody like getting in an argument or something.
Yeah.
So like I've had my small moments where it's like they turn the camera on me and it's like I don't know, like that's not what I signed up for,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
also not like gonna shy away from it that much. I'll take the attention, but it's that, and then just like being able to like thrive in a creative environment where like I'm not held to like very, very specific, like you must do this way. Like I get the opportunity to create the way I want to and like work with people and develop ideas and like show what I can do the way I want to do it, which I appreciate it. Cause if I was working in a more like corporate video environment, it would be like, why didn't you do this the way we're supposed to?
Mhm.
Where at Barstool, it's like they appreciate people that like go and learn how to do things and be unique and show off like their skills
Mhm.
because it makes like the product more genuine. And so I
Yeah,
appreciate being able to do that.
they definitely hired you also for how unique that you are and like your creativity and who you are as a person. I do see what you mean. Like the best employees, the best intern, like whatever you are at a company is who was in the interview. It's like who they are naturally, those are the best workers. Trying to make someone be someone that they're not, it makes someone give you the content that's not normally what they produce. It's never going to be the best outcome than if you hired someone that was themselves. You fit perfectly at Barstool because you get to be who you are every single day. You love being there. And everyone I see at Barstool, they genuinely love it. They're not forced to be like someone that they're not. And there's so many places that are just, they need to get on this kind of wave of being authentic and being genuine because at the end of the day, like that's what makes a brand relatable to people instead of it being inauthentic because people kind of see right through that. And you can't say that Barstool is inauthentic. Everyone is
Right.
100% themselves. That's why people love it so much.
Yeah.
Everyone always tries hides the craziness or like the ups and the downs and only tries to show successes. No, it's like really relatable to people and it's very human seeing what goes on at Barstool because people like are like, wow, like I can like relate to these people. They're like me. And I don't know, like a ton of other places can say the same thing as Barstool. So
And it's like we're relatable almost to a fault sometimes because it's like we're so open about everything
yeah.
that sometimes like stuff that we don't want out there might slip out, but like it's something that people can grab onto and feel like they might like they might be friends. Like they would love to get a drink with somebody that works at Barstool because they like watch the content all day and that sort of thing. I also appreciate like it's such a I think all workplaces might be this way now, especially because of what's happened in like the last since March with coronavirus. But the hype, like it's so hyper competitive to get a job in media. So I appreciated like being like open to that process and like knowing that when I got pulled on full time, it was me and one other video intern that were still on internships, and I got a job and he didn't. And like I knew in the back of my mind that I was probably getting compared and like being able to be in an environment where I know that I'm under pressure. That's something that I like feel like I thrive in. I don't know if everybody feels that way, but
No, I kid super. I definitely
yeah,
feel that way. Like the chaos, I love it. Like a
right.
million projects at once, I love it. So many people going through similar stuff, I love it. And like that's probably what you feed off of. Since being there, what have you learned most about yourself getting the job and having interned and running the Barstool account?
I think through the whole experience, I've just learned a lot about like being versatile and how beneficial that is. Um, when I like started college, a big goal that I had was working in like 5 different aspects of sports media because that was my major. I wanted to work in live production, I wanted to do editing. I wanted to do writing. I wanted to do radio, and I wanted to do something on camera. And like, so I found opportunities at school to do all 5 of those things. And now, since going into like the workforce, I'm trying to become as versatile as I can in the job that like I'm assigned to do. So I'm a video producer, but I also like produce a podcast. So I do audio editing, and I've done live production stuff. So I do live production, like trying to keep building myself as like as versatile as a worker as I can. That way, when the opportunities present themselves later on, like I have the skills already that I need.
Mhm.
And that's like a thing that I think a lot of people should focus on. If like not everybody knows what they're going to do after college when they're in college. For me, it was like it was an opportunity that I saw my sophomore year, and I was like, Barstool, like I have to do whatever I can to work here.
Mhm.
So let me just like do everything I can. That way, when I put myself in the position to be there, I can like achieve what I've been working on.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that. Some people like go through college and they don't have no idea what they want to work on.
Yeah.
But being as like multi-talented as you can while you have the chance to, it'll pay off afterwards.
You don't need to have it all figured out. What are your strengths? Like, what do I love? And then keep doing those things all the time, because eventually you want to do, you'll then have done all these things that make sense for whatever you're destined to be doing. So like if you like doing video in college, you shouldn't probably wait right before graduation. You don't need to know like you're going to go work at Barstool your freshman year, the first day
Right.
that you walk in. But if you know that you love video, go do video all the time. If you don't end up doing that, that's fine. Like at least you figured out what you don't want to do. No, thank you so much for talking with me. I hope this interview was like good. You're my second interview. So, but yeah, thank you so much for like talking with me.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. If anybody listening has any questions about Barstool or anything in the video field, like my Twitter DMs are open. I'm always talking to people in there, trying to help people build their skills up or whatever. Like I'm not the most talented video editor in the world by any means, but I feel like some sense of
He's really
accomplishment.
good. He's really
Yeah, because
good.
I went through the process and now I'm working in it. So like, if I can help anybody else out, that's like the most rewarding thing I feel like, is to see people achieving stuff. Because a couple people have reached out and now they're like, one guy that hopped in my Twitter DMs in January now runs the Arizona State Barstool accounts because I gave him advice and like tried to put him together with the people to do that. And I think that's awesome if I'm like helping anybody else out there. So yeah.